Star Wars Rebels is back with a new season, and in the very first episode, we are already introduced to familiar faces from previous shows like the Clone Wars. In this episode, the crew are tasked to look for and recruit an old commander and his group. They don't know much about them, but at first, they come to find out that it's Rex and his team from the old Clone Wars TV show, and they're out in the desert, pretty much outcast on their own, trying to stay away from the Empire and everyone else. And right away, Kanan has a problem with the old clone troopers. We don't completely know why, but we do have an idea, and that's mostly because of what he has been through. Because from the fallout from after Revenge of the Sith, Kanan doesn't know about how Rex and his team had already removed their chips before the events of Revenge of the Sith. And even though Kanan finds out about it, he still has some doubt and some prejudice. But they end up working together to catch a giant worm beast that Zeb ultimately gets eaten by and needs to be saved. But while this is going on, the Empire has been watching them, and at the same time we follow with Agent Kallus as he's still trying to find Ezra and the Ghost crew and all the rebel connections they have. He sends down a probe to go and spy on them and even get more information about the whereabouts of the others. But luckily they end up stopping the probe before it gets back to the base, and they end up working with each other and kind of realizing to put aside their old prejudices and the way they thought about each other in the past and kind of putting that aside and working together. But it leaves off on a cliffhanger because the Empire does end up finding their location, and it looks like they're going to be having an engaged battle with them. This episode actually really surprised me on how well the season had started and even set up the next episode. Even though not much happened in terms of plot, it was nice to see how well paced everything was, especially during the scenes where both groups had to work together to catch a giant worm and even stopping the probe sent from the Empire. It was very fast paced, and it was nice to see everyone work together and everyone have a part in it. I also like how we're able to see the old crew from the Clone Wars show, and it'll also be nice to see whether or not they're going to be brought on board with these new groups or if we're going to see them given closure from the previous show. But overall, this did start off a great new season, and I'm already looking forward to the next episode. So what did you think of this episode of Rebels? What things stood out to you, and what do you think is going to happen in the next episode? Leave your comments down below, and see you next time.